Hey, everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? So, that little promo that Leo threw together is our calendar, our 2026, nothing but the apron calendar. And we have 12, actually 13, I believe, because one month has two people. 13 total hotties. I have the calendars. If you want them, please let me know. They're 15, they're worth every penny. And you can either pick them up at my jobs when I'm wherever I'm at. Wednesdays, I'm at the Duplex. Friday and Saturday, I'm at Brandy's. And a couple times a month, I'm at Stonewall. I always post about it. So if you want to come and get them, then there's no postage. If you want me to mail them to you, reach out to me. You can contact me on Facebook and let me know, and then you can Venmo me or we'll work it out. We'll figure something out. Anyway, tonight is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. It's the end of the year. We have an interesting show tonight. Our friend Mel England is joining us. I asked him to because I feel like we need him. And we're going to do a little tribute to some people that we really respect and admire. So, Leo, hit that promo, honey. Welcome back. Like we said, it's Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. It's the end, 2 weeks left to this year. It's been a very interesting roller coaster of a year. Some days have been wonderful, and some days are very scary, and some days are days for growth. So today, what I want to talk about, I didn't plan. Usually, towards the end of the season, I don't put anything in the calendar because I never know what's going to come up. And sometimes we like to do like a year in reflection type thing, which I think we'll do on 2 weeks from tonight. We'll do that. By the way, next week, which is the 23rd, we are not having a regular show. We are doing what we do every year, and we are rerunning our most famous show of all time, Christmas at the Raskowskis. And Leo,
I know is the best ever.
It really is. There is Leo Rodriguez.
Hey guys, I'm sitting up today.
Yes, you are. Leo hurt his back very badly and has been dealing with that. And we send Leo a lot of love, and we hope that you're okay. And we know you're on the mend, but it's going to be a little bit of a little time. So thank you, Leo, for joining us and able to. I always say, Leo, if you can't do it, let me know. If you can't do it, we can cancel the show, or I can get someone else. Or he's like, I got it.
I'm sure that, like with Lori and Danielle and everybody, where else is there to be on Tuesday nights in pain or?
I know. I agree. It's our little family here. So let's get our guests all checked in. So Danielle Alexandria Alchemy is here. She's our friend. She is an amazing spiritual medium, a psychic, past life regressionist. She is a spirit animal. She does spirit animal readings. She does all kinds of things. I mean, she speaks to the other side. So if that's something that you are interested in, craving, need to check out, go to DanielleAlexandriaAlchemy.com. Now, I will remind you, I gave a lot of gift certificates over the years of Danielle's work to family members and friends because it's a great, great way to tell people that you really love them because you want to give them peace of mind. Leo, you okay over there?
Yeah, I can't find it, but I wanted to show Miss Danielle sent me a birthday present, which I didn't get on time, but some new Greek deity Earth and Sun tarot cards.
Oh, wow.
You now that I can see people.
I love it. All right, so we're gonna have a little dog action happening here because there's 4 dogs in this house tonight. I'm at Judy's. Okay, let's forge ahead. So we have Danielle. We have Sudi Rick Caritas says hello. Hi, Sudi. I think
Yeah.
Adrian Christian's going to be on our show in sometime in January, I think the third week. And he's going to be in New York, so I may have him come to the apartment and hang out with me. And I think Rick maybe will zoom in that night too. So, yes, Danielle, I'm going to address that in a minute because we are going to do a little something for them. Yes, Leo does look very cute, and we're happy he's here. Lori Tower says, Haka Tuesday, everyone.
I should have been happy.
Happy, maybe. I mean, maybe it means something else. So
Happy.
Leo is looking for chords. I know. Who knows? And here's a John Pietera says, here's a piece of my mind. I know, honey. Happy Tuesday, my darling, says Lori Towers. I saw Lori and John last night. They are lovely as usual. They gave me a gift from Alexis Hunter, which was stunning.
Beautiful.
And you know, Lori, last minute I decided to do the show from here instead of there, and I have it at home. I wanted to show it so badly, but I will show it when we do our show in 2 weeks.
Did she give you some jewelry?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's stunning. You know, Alexis is not just a book
stunning.
writer, but she is just amazing. And she creates this incredible jewelry, as does Lori. Lori, you want to talk about Lori and John?
Lori,
Leo, now that we have you, tell them about Lori and John.
On Wednesday nights on WFMU.org, Beneath the Underground, Sheena's Jungle Room. Sheena's Jungle Room, Beneath the Underground, from 10 to 12, or if you're on the East Coast with me, like Jill Crozen is, we listen down here in California from 7 to 9. And just the best music, eclectic music, poetry, history, a little jabbing between Lori and John, which is always fun.
I love it. I love it. And some of the best music that I've ever heard or didn't know about.
And history that goes with it. That's what I like about it.
Yes.
They just did every year they've been doing a John Lennon tribute. And just
and the day that he passed away,
that John pulls up. Just you learn a lot and you're entertained.
That's what I love about their show the most. What I learn.
And Lori has it's a little dinner party that we all get together in this group, just like here in this family. I love it.
I love it. And speaking of family, Lynn Porter's genius. I spent the afternoon with and Terry Fabrizio, who is a mutual friend of ours. And I met him through Lynn, and he is an incredible musician, and also he has a studio in Long Island, and he helps us record things and does an amazing job. And so I was there with Lynn. Lynn recorded a song, and Lynn and I recorded a song that we wrote that I did in my show called I Used to Be You. We finally recorded it. And I wait till you hear it. Lynn did strings, bass, piano. It's stunning.
You know, I love all your songs, but you know that one, when I first heard it, touched me very much. And you and I know we have a history with that song because I heard it on. And it never forgot it. And when you brought it back, it's one of my
it was a trunk song. It was a trunk song. And I did it in my show. And thank you, Leo, for liking it. And Lynn and I we wrote that together many years ago.
Well, it's also a master class in delivery. You know, I told you I was teaching the cabaret classes, and that's one of the songs because the delivery of how we're supposed to interpret and tell the stories through songs, and you do so well with that one.
Oh, thank you, honey. What a wonderful compliment. I appreciate that. So we did that today, and then I wrote a Christmas song a few years back called "Me and My Little Sister," which I sang at Karen Mack and Elliot Roth's Christmas show, and I went in and recorded it today with Terry and with the guitar. I played the guitar with just one. I think it was like maybe 2 takes, so it went well.
Wow.
And that's great. Yeah, and I'm very excited about that.
Studio time.
And then Lynn wrote this amazing song for the Stonewall Inn last night.
Yes.
Of course, she wrote it in like seconds, right? And she played it last night, and it was funny and touching, and people were really moved by it as well. And she just named a bunch of great people. She's the best. So she recorded that today too. So many new songs coming.
Oh,
there's Mel England. He's going to join us in a little while.
we also have some other Christmas shows coming up, don't we?
Yes, please. Let's do this. Let's
Let's
get it done because we want to. So one of our friends, Taylor Patty, who works at the Stonewall Inn, she is doing a show at Green Room 42, which I love that room. Lynn loves that room. It's this Sunday, the 21st. It's called Tailored for the Holidays, and it's at 9:30 Sunday night. And if you can't go, which I can't go Sunday, but I got a live stream ticket. And I got to tell you something. I love Green Room 42, and that is one of the reasons I love it, because the live stream is exquisite. The sound and picture are amazing, and you have up to a few days to watch it. So, like, I may not be able to watch it Sunday night, but I can watch it maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday. How great is that? So they send you the link, and you have up to a few days to watch it. It may even be a week if I'm not mistaken, but when you get the live stream ticket, they'll show you. It's called Venue Tix or something.
And friends, if you ever have a video like that where you get it, because you get it sent to, and like for Maria, if you need it cut, edited for sound purposes or song purposes, let me know and I can help out.
Well, that is good to know. Yes, Leo does all that. He's done so many things for me, and Judy, and he's the producer of Judy's podcast.
Montgomery has also had me do some of her wonderful piece, Girl Singer, and
yes, Carol Montgomery.
Yep, and
Lavinia.
Working on Lavinia's a wonderful piece right now. Trying to get all her characters into one piece. She's so talented.
I know she is. If you ever need any work like that, also websites designed or maintained, Leo does all of that. He's a gun for hire, and he's your man. LOL, did you almost say Karen Carpenter? So happy. You know what? Let me tell you something. Karen Carpenter has come up 3 times today, Danielle. So, of course, you're psychic. You know that. So, I mean, she happened to just pick up on that. When I was in the studio today, we were talking about Karen Carpenter with the studio engineer, who's Terry. And then his daughter came down, Michelle Fabry, who's an amazing singer-songwriter. And she brought up, when she was listening to the playback, she said, it's very Karen Carpenter. And I said, you have no idea. That is my favorite female vocalist of all time. And then what did Danielle just say, Karen Carpenter? So Karen must be among us. Gavin Baugh has joined us. Good evening. Good evening, Gavin. Rick Sudi Caritas says Leo is great at doing websites too. Yes, he is. He did mine. I didn't know you did.
Yes, I've been helping Sudi with his a little bit when he sends me stuff. And
oh my God, I have to check it out.
And also, we did his. I'm waiting for another book. We need to do another book.
Sudi's books are great.
Yeah, we need to do another book interview. That was a fun podcast.
Yeah, and he's a great screenwriter and a songwriter and great guy. Great guy. Love Karen Carpenter. Yes.
This hottie that we have to show, and you have another hottie on tonight. And even though I'm a little disheveled, I have a little manly hottiness. But
oh wow,
that guy right behind you in that picture, Maria.
Oh yeah,
man, he is so.
Well,
hot.
I'm at Judy's, and I got to tell you, this is her wall. So the artist that did all these, Judy commissioned all these. His name is oh, I just went blank. I'll think of it in a minute. Andrews is his last name. I'll think of it in a minute. PJ Andrews. Thank you. PJ Andrews. He's originally from Massachusetts, but he lives in LA now.
Oh, and that's right. I remember PJ. Okay.
Yeah, PJ was on our show. And this is Judy commissioned RBG. And then up there is Stacey Abrams, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, and Albert Einstein. So,
you should have seen.
Judy likes smart people.
Michelle on Jimmy Kimmel last night was amazing.
Really?
Oh, she was amazing. You got to go back and watch Yeah, she was amazing.
Wow, I love Jimmy Kimmel. I'm a
huge Kimmel fan. Anyway, we were speaking about hotties, so let's not forget this hottie.
Oh my God, this is Mr. December 2025. Michael G. What is it with these hot boys? They always hike up the apron so that you can see the thighs.
You see that? No, I don't know if I'm looking at the thigh.
I see what you're looking at, the mirror.
I think I'm looking at some tea cake.
Oh my God. He's enjoying his double espresso. Look at his demi-tasse there. Hope you are doing well, Maria, says Gavin Baugh.
Oh,
I
good
should
to
be
hear that.
back in the city by springtime. Wonderful. We
Good.
look forward to having you, Gavin. I hope, I know you're feeling better because I've been watching you and all the great stuff you're doing. And so I'm glad you're doing better and you're going to be back in the city. Okay. So, um, I want to start the show with, this week I didn't book anybody because like I said, I never know what's going to happen towards the end of the year. And I said, I'm going to know Rena Cugnelli Bergi. Hello and happy holiday season. Hello, Rena. That's my cousin Rena, who I adore. Her husband was
Very
Mr.
kind.
February 2020, 2022, Leo
Yep.
2022. He's the OG of Mr. February's.
Oh yeah,
But
my Mr. Postman.
but anyway, so what I wanted to do this week, and I'm trying not to get to the saddest place, but a terrible, 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 horrible, unspeakable tragedy happened in California with Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. And thank you. And everybody heard the news. We don't have to go into huge detail, but Um, what I wanted to do, I said to Leo today, let's do a little remembrance. And there's something called Me TV Remembers Rob Reiner. And if you go to it, I believe that the dates are coming up. So they're going to do they're going to play All in the Family. Me TV, I think it's online. They're going to play All in the Family, all his great episodes. And I'm sure every network is going to be doing stuff. And, but
It's December 21st,
thank you. Which is
from
Sunday.
6 to 10 p.m.
6 to
Eastern Pacific on Me TV, which is a cable station, I believe.
mhm.
And yeah, all the wonderful things that he's. I think they're specifically setting on All in the Family for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure though listen, he's had so many, many, many blocks and blocks and blocks of amazing
My name is
things.
Enrico Montoya. You
Yeah.
killed my father.
Oh
Prepare
my
to
God. So everybody, I was talking with Mel today. Well, we were texting a little bit, and Mel posted something on his Facebook wall, and I was just thinking about this, and I was really sad about it. And I saw Mel's post, and I was like, that's it. That's a beautiful way that he honored him, and what he said was really beautiful. And I do not want to get into the political aspects of it because I don't want to give that any energy because that's what it is. I want to elevate the good in the world and the good in that this man did and his wife. They were amazing, amazing, amazing activists. They were super talented. She was a photographer and a film producer, and I believe she was in a few. She was an actress too. So
singer too.
yeah, okay. So and he was, of course, we know him best. My age group, Leo. You're much younger than me, but you're a TV fanatic, so you know.
I'm
He
only
was
early 10.
Meathead, Mike Meathead,
Oh yeah.
right? Stevick on
I
All in
mean,
the
if you
Family.
think about it, that was in the 70s, and I was watching that in the 70s with my grandma and grandpa. I was born in 69, so I
Really?
remember, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember those.
I was born in 62, so I was a teenager. And
Mhm.
I just was blown away by that show. That show, even now, sometimes Bill Goffey will send me a clip of like an old episode.
Joe
It is so
Castagnozzi, one of our friends, I believe, just recently watched that whole series from beginning to end when he was off, and he commented a lot about how, and if you watch it now, it's still relevant. Still relevant.
absolutely, absolutely. Norman Lear was so ahead of his time, but also like he really was ballsy about it. Like he insisted on, nope, we're doing it this way. Nope, we're not changing it. Nope, we are not sugarcoating any of this. So Archie Bunker was basically a racist and not very well educated guy, and somehow Norman Lear managed to bring in all these amazing issues and make you almost see that Archie Bunker was just undereducated.
They went
And
through 3 to 4 couples, 3 to 4 pilots before Sally Struthers and Reiner came in, and
right.
they were the ones that said this is it.
So Rob Reiner is Carl Reiner's son. Carl
Yeah,
Reiner, I mean, Jesus, you
he
look
is.
up Carl Reiner, he's done everything you can imagine. So, and he's passed away now a few years ago, but just incredible. Carl Reiner was incredible. So
The-
Rob Reiner was his son, and so these are just some of the things that Rob Reiner. So he was famous for that, but
I heard a
as a
good story last night about how he was talking to Jimmy Kim. No, he was talking to Howard Stern. And Howard Stern asked him, "What was your, he was 16 watching his dad and Mel Brooks
mm,
do the Man of Man or the Man of History that bit, and he was 16 and he was so nervous and he said, Dad, I got a joke," and he pitched his joke at 16 to Mel and to his dad, and they used it on TV.
wow.
That's how he just the royalty that he grew up with, this wonderful, caring,
Oh
beautiful.
my God, how cool to be on the set for that stuff. So the stuff he was famous for, if you the behind the scenes that he directed, one of my favorite things of all time, Spinal Tap.
Oh,
If you have
it's
never
a new
seen
one.
Spinal Tap, you have to. It's like a mockumentary. That's what that they coined that. A mockumentary of this rock band. It's so funny. It's beyond funny. It's one of my favorite things ever. Spinal Tap
And
and
they just finished the rap on
Spinal
the
Tap 2.
sequel. And can you what a
Spinal Tap
blessing.
2, which is Paul McCartney is in that.
Yeah.
Because Paul McCartney wrote a beautiful tribute to him as well, and said that he was the nicest person to work with and for, and it was just a total tragedy. He also directed The Princess Bride.
My
I
name is
mean,
Inigo Montoya.
did you I know did you hear Mandy Patinkin's what he said about him?
Oh
It
no, that
was
probably made me cry.
absolutely beautiful. You can look that up. These are all things you can look up after the
Kevin
show.
Bacon had a wonderful tribute about when he cast him in A Few Good Men, and how nervous Kevin
Wow.
Bacon was.
Right, A Few Good Men. I didn't write that down.
Yep. Oh, and Harry Met
Wow.
Sally, his mom. That was his mom
Oh my
doing.
okay. Yes. So when Harry Met Sally, which is probably one of the most famous things, which was there was scene filmed at Katz's Deli, which today it was all over the news because they were there. And when Harry, they still have that table saved, by the way, and people can reserve that table. And his mother was the one that said, "I'll have what she's having." That was Mrs. Reiner. So how funny is that? So when Harry Met Sally, Spinal Tap 2, The Princess Bride, A Few Good Men, and
Yeah.
just a ton of other stuff.
The Ghost of Mississippi.
Oh yeah,
Whoopi Goldberg was mentioning that the other day, how she was blessed to work with him on that movie. Um,
wow.
he was just a great storyteller,
He was a great storyteller,
from
and
acting to directing. And you don't, who's like that?
yeah, and I wanted to also just remind everybody, if you didn't know, that he was an amazing activist. He was a huge voice for global warming, for just peace in the world, women's rights, LGBT rights, um, just human rights across the globe. He was a very, very, very good person, a very just huge heart, selfless individual, as was his wife. And they, up until the very end, worked on helping so many causes. And they traveled everywhere. Like people, I was listening to a lot of different things today. A lot of people said that they would just be like uh, one of the MSNBC um, hosts was saying that she was doing something out in the field, and he just walked up and introduced himself. She said, as if he needed to introduce himself, but he just wanted to tell her that he was supporting what she was doing, and he really appreciated her reporting. She said it was me who should have thanked him. And she just said he was such a sweet, kind-hearted, and as his was his wife. So we just want to, what I wanted to do tonight was put out in the world the goodness in others and how we should remember the good in other human beings. Rainer was John said, Rainer was a, let me see, I lost that comment. Rainer was a
Guest
great
host.
as a guest host on SNL way back in the day. I forgot about that. Thank you. He was also on Odd Couple as Myrna Tummer's husband. Oh, Sheldon.
He just has a. And
Wow.
I know that Mel's waiting in the wings, but I want to say I think that when we lose guys, especially of that age, it's not just that we lose him, but we lose the generation of great men that passed that image to him to live
Mm,
by, like Mel Brooks,
you're
like
right.
Dad, like all the great, like Sid Caesar and all the people that he got to witness, and all those guys that, yeah, we look at them back, they may have had their inconsistencies, but they were good men who stood up for
Oh,
what was right and
absolutely.
lived through that time.
Absolutely.
And now with him gone, who do we have to carry on? Those that meaning. It's up to us now.
Yeah, but you're right. There's a whole line of great people that came before him, and he was inspired by, and he inspired, I'm sure, many filmmakers. So let me see. I don't want to miss anything. Okay, so I saw my friend Mel's post while I was uh, while I was recording with Lynn today, and I said, "Man, I think we need to have Mel on the show." So when I was on the way home, I asked him at the last minute if he could do it. So I'm really happy that he
He's
can.
so busy. Oh my goodness.
Mel's very, very busy. And there's other things that I want Mel and I to talk about as well, because there are things that Mel and I share that are very important that I think it's now, especially during the holidays, is very important to remember. So shall we waste no further time?
I will
And
say I have all his little things that he sent me. They're on cue, so if we want to see any of his previews, we're ready to go. Uh,
excellent, honey. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
and let me get somebody much more handsomer than me onto this
Oh,
wonderful.
it's a different type of handsome.
It's oh no
He
way,
was Mr. May 2024.
Tony.
Oh my God. Mel England, everybody. Give him a big hand.
Hi,
So,
Maria.
hi, my honey. Thank you for
Leo,
the.
Leo's actually very like. What are we talking about?
I
Like
know, I know.
deep voice and
So, Mel,
uh,
you're many things. You work in film quite a bit, quite a bit. You work stage film, and you are a New York, also LA person, right? You kind of like travel in between these worlds, and so you wrote something really special, and I was very moved by it. And how do you just give me a take on it, honey? Just add to what we were talking about the wonderful contributions of these two wonderful people.
well, Maria, I'm so glad we connected today, and it's actually an honor to be on here talking with you because, um, you know, it's times like these that we actually need each other. We
Hmm.
need the community, and something spoke to me because I was thinking about Rob Reiner and why I felt so affected. And it's because, like Leo mentioned, like, we're the same. Leo and I, 69, I'm 69. I'm that age where I grew up as a kid, and my parents were hippies. So, what I was
Mm,
talking about in the post was the fact that it was sort of like watching my parents represented on TV fighting with Archie Bunker, for civil rights and women's rights and gay rights and trans rights. That show like represented all of those things, right? And somehow it also showed that in the end, that even though this family had their differences, that Mike not only loved Gloria, obviously, and he also had his failings, right? He was also a
mhm,
flawed character, which Rob Reiner did so beautifully because he
mhm,
was kind of arrogant. He was the only educated one. like he went to college, but everybody else is sort of like, like they were
Blue
in Queens.
collar. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, there was just something about the fact that even though they had their differences, that they loved each other.
Mm.
And that spoke to me about where we are right now.
Wow.
I think that we all live in a place where, and there's a lot of stuff that I think everybody can say, like, well, this is my limit. That's where I draw the line. And yet somehow there was a time where we could have those kind of really hard conversations and yet still, sit around a dinner table together in a
Right.
family, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of families I know. I mean, I'm gay, and there's a lot of stuff that's happened in my life, but it's taken me a long time to get to a place where I can accept somebody the way they are. That doesn't mean I have to. I know the difference between acceptance and approval.
Wow, Mel, that's really deep.
Yeah,
You're
well,
right. You're right.
and that is a deep thing. I learned it. There was
Yeah, I love that.
sort of knocked me over the head. So I can love somebody, but I don't necessarily have to make them believe what I believe or say what I want them to say, or, like, and loving somebody also doesn't mean that I condone their behavior.
Yeah.
I had to learn that,
Wow.
it's no secret, Maria, and we've talked about it a lot because I've been sober a long time, and that's something but when I first got sober, one of the first things, my birth mother was a pretty bad alcoholic, and I spent many years, about the first 10 years of my sobriety, trying to get her sober. And then at some point I kind of gave up, and I went to Al-Anon, which is sort of this program for families of alcoholics. And so I was
Big fan
like,
of Al-Anon.
right, it really helped me a lot. But in the beginning, I had this thing where I had to, like detach with an axe. I just had to cut that person off. And so I didn't speak to my mother for, now, and there was a lot of others. There's a lot of backstory to all that. But, because I also had an adopted mother. And so, there was, I was very lucky. I had two mothers. Anyway, the point is that when I finally started letting her back into my life, I had come into a place where I realized that I could love her, and yet I wasn't going to let her burn the house down.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like I could take care of myself and have my boundaries, but I didn't have to necessarily exile that person away. And I think that that's a skill set that I was beginning to learn then, and I'm realizing that's something that we all kind of have to begin to practice, because there are a lot of people that we don't necessarily agree with about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But just like in like any, if you run a company or you run a theater, we're in the theater, you don't always agree on everything. You can't, like, where's the coffee pot going to go? Nobody's going to get their way on everything. So you have to learn how to compromise. And I just feel like we live in a time where we have to learn how to accept people the way they are. I don't know how that really, oh yeah, that's from All in the Family. They still love, like, Mike still kind of loved Archie.
Yes. And Archie, that show kind of made Archie lovable, in that you pulled for him and that you wanted him to see the light. You wanted to shake him and go like, "What's wrong with you?" And then sometimes you wanted to shake Mike and say, "Oh, come on, don't be so pompous. He's just a regular guy. He's just a blue collar guy." And so that's what I loved about All in the Family. I mean, it really, that and Rhoda are my two favorite shows of all time, and so, things like that. And another thing I wanted to talk about, and you started this great conversation, is, when we talked about this when I was driving around the car today, is I want to talk about, especially the end of the year, I want to talk about addiction. And this is not a judgment on anybody. I too have been sober a long time. Now, you and I happen to have the same sober date, which that's how we met. We were in a meeting, and you always say your sober date, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's got the same date." And met outside the meeting, and I just remember I've always loved you ever since. And that was a long, long time ago. But this time of year, no matter who you are or where you work or what circles you run in, there's an intense spotlight on you better have a good time. It's the holidays, and I hope you're surrounded by family and friends, and and it quietly amplifies the loneliness in the world in a lot of ways. And I listen, I work in bars. I work in 3 different bars. I've worked in bars before I was sober. I've worked in bars all through my 36 years of sobriety. And there's no judgment on people that drink or don't drink, because first of all, my customers are they're my friends, and that's how I make my living. So there's no judgment. I focus on my addiction. But I did want to bring this up, and you and I had this conversation that so especially like famous people, we were talking about this today, and you said something. Um, I said nobody is exempt from this, right? You could be a famous person and have an addict son or daughter or wife or husband. It doesn't make it any easier just because you have money or just because you have fame. As a matter of fact, what did you say to me today, which I thought
No,
was
I said I actually think it makes it harder, and I mean, without naming names, I mean, we were talking about, I've known certain people who, well, I can't say one name. I mean, and I only say this out of, uh, anyway, but my friend Phil Hoffman, who I had been in a play with when I was, at NYU and, stayed in touch with, but sadly he died, years later, and but you see people struggle, and what happens when people become world famous or just internet famous now. I mean, like, you can
Yeah,
have Instagram stars, whatever, is you're surrounded by a bunch of people that kind of feed that, and you'll have yes people. So
yeah.
it's really hard to find people that are going to, I
Hold
just think
you.
I don't even want to speak for other people. I'll just say that I think it's an added layer. It's almost like
Right,
it's almost like you're dually addicted or something. You've got
right,
a
right.
problem.
Yeah.
And
Well, look at
you think
Elvis. That was Elvis's biggest struggle. That he was this great guy. Everybody loved him, but he was very generous to everybody in his life and so nobody wanted to tell him he had a problem. Even
right.
doctors didn't want to, but one
No,
of the things that I wanted to focus on, you and I as well, because we talked about this, it's that addiction is not just drinking. Like, that's one part of it. And some people, like, I'm definitely an alcoholic, and so I don't drink anymore, and I haven't. But there's a lot of different types of addiction. And one of the biggest ones is that people get addicted to substances for the wrong reason. We talked about this today, not meaning to, or it just, go ahead, Leo. Did you want to say something? Okay. So
They for different reasons. Right now, in this season where I'm supposed to be active and feeling joyous because I lead a bunch of kids and everything, and I can't
right,
actually do my life because I've got this really bad spinal thing. And the first thing, they're like, well, what about Oxycontin? What about Oxycodone? What about, and, I've got a family member that has suffered from back pain that led into this addiction. And at the holidays, you want to be feeling your best and you
right.
don't want to feel the pain and everything. And it's just, it's a little open door that you have to
I know.
really worry about.
be
And
really,
luckily,
really, really, really careful. Yeah.
I have friends
Yeah.
like you, and I have examples in my life that I'm exercising and looking for alternative
Yep.
things
And the
in
thing
order to
is,
my pain. But it's a simple doorway that people don't understand.
yeah, that's why there's no judgment. It's just very slippery slope sometimes. Like, I remember I had major surgery about 10 years ago. Like, I had an operation. I was in the hospital for about 6 days. And every single time they came in, they were trying to give me something. And
Mm.
I know that they're just following orders. And I had to say every single time, once I was past that point of like, okay, now I'm out of anesthesia and all that, I had to advocate for myself and say, no, thank you. I am in recovery. I'm this many years sober. I do not want. They're like, are you refusing? I said, yes. I had said every single time. So this would be a few times a day. Finally, on like the fourth day, I had this wonderful nurse from Trinidad. I'll never forget her. And she came in, she had this beautiful, thick accent. And I told her, and she was the first person that heard me. She put her hand on mine. She said, baby, I understand my son is in recovery.
Mm.
And finally, I was like, finally, someone gets it. Because you have to be your own advocate constantly in this world, and these people are just doing their job. They're not breaking any rules. They're following, protocol, right?
And also, they don't, I mean, I can understand from the medical provider, but also the patient's, point of view. In many cases, they don't want people to be in pain.
No.
And so one of the things that I've realized, I mean, I know for me that, and what we're doing right now, Leo, and I'm so glad you shared that you're going through this with, that, because that's exactly how recovery works. We just share and we're like, oh, hey, I'm going to have, a tooth pulled, and I'm going to have, so I'm going to, like, it's by talking about it and taking out the secrecy that we have this ability to sort of not be alone with
Right.
it, which is the key. It's not really a moral issue. It's like,
Not at all.
it's a thing where I think, one of the things that happened with my mother, which was, I had to accept the fact that, like, she was, I mean, I'll never forget one of the last major conversations I had with her about 6 months before she died. She, because I was like, you could volunteer she was bilingual. So, like, I volunteer, like, to teach kids English, or, volunteer at the hospital, like something just to get her out of the house. And she said, I'm just going to sit here and smoke my cigarettes and watch my stories. And I remember at the time I was just like, oh my God, like, this is just so awful. And the thing is that I found out, took a while after she died, I'm not God. Who's to say that that's the bad thing? Like,
Mm,
like it, everybody has their own spiritual path.
yes.
And accepting that people need to do whatever they got to do. It's not even that she was bad and it could have been better. It's like she lived an amazing life and she lived it on her terms. And so I just feel like one of the things that is going on right now is we've got, like, crazy people all over. Politics is nuts, and people are very isolated and they feel alone and attacked. And we need to just, like, kind of get back to basics of,
Yep.
like, just being with each other and loving people the way they are, not the way we want them to be.
Absolutely.
And it's a weird thing because I have family that's, conservative or not, on the same page that I am, but I can still find a place to, I don't know.
Yep,
It's weird.
absolutely. I agree.
It's connected. Like, recovery is about loving yourself and loving other people. And I feel like that's the same thing as I don't know how that makes sense, but it makes sense to me.
Well, what I think it's really about, I'm going to go back to this, is loneliness. I think like they say that addiction is the it's the loneliness. It's the disease of loneliness. And so what it is whatever that is for you. Now I'm done with, well, for now, I mean, one day at a time, God willing, I put down alcohol and drugs, but I can become addicted to other things, right? Food, God knows I'm addicted to food. Some people get addicted to gambling. Right. Exactly. So nobody is perfect. And we're all just like little kids that, like, please, I want to feel better. I want to change my feelings. I want to change my feelings. And, I have to talk about this because I have a new grandson that I just think is the greatest little angel on earth. And so he watches Miss Rachel. He's 5 months. And I watch it sometimes with him, and I'm like, this is so good because she does this little song called Big Feelings. Like, big feelings are okay. It's okay to have big feelings. And I'm like, all right. Like, how wonderful that this generation of little ones is learning that. But we didn't really know that. So when we had big feelings, what do? We squashed them. or tough
No,
enough.
remember that song, Don't Cry Out Loud?
Yes.
Let's keep it inside. Oh, Jesus.
Learn how to
Like,
hide your feel. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was when we were kids. You're gonna cry. I'll give you something to cry about.
Cry about, right.
And,
So
you know, in hindsight, though, too, it's good that they're learning about their big feelings, so we can easily teach them to manage that.
Right.
That's a lot of things that society. You always have to be happy. No, it's not always happy, and it's not always sad. Sometimes we're just there.
yeah.
And that's how we enjoy the happy, because we know that happy's not just there, and sometimes we know we're sad because we know we're just not in that middle place. Like
Right.
Friday when I found out my diagnosis, I have to say, you guys don't know me, but I was pretty weak. I was mad at this for not being able to live my life the way that I
Right.
had. I
So
like
Leo,
and
yeah.
that kind of thing, and but the emotion, that was my down. That was my down, and I had to, Maria, I told you about my song today, why I wrote it and why I listened to it, and I had to remember it's me, but if I don't grab myself by the cojones and say, hey, be patient, understand it, then other people can come and help you. Because if I live in that misery,
Right.
and it's not going to help my body, it's not going to help me heal or my mind get better.
Yeah.
Well, Leo, I don't know exactly because I missed some of what I heard you talking to Maria before the show, but I'll just say that, because I can't even think about it. Well, I'm 28 years sober, so I'm about 29 years AIDS survivor, and I had it even longer than that since I'm 19. I mean, HIV.
Wow.
And about 18 years ago, I had cancer, and I survived that. And I will say that by the time I got to the cancer diagnosis, I was like, what the hell? I survived AIDS. Now I have to do what? And by day 2, I woke up and I was like, oh, okay, I know what to do. I have to embrace this.
Wow.
This is not going to be like, me feeling sorry for myself or, oh no, like I just had to embrace it. And I knew that on the other side of this, there would be that a lesson is the wrong word, but that there would be something that I would have experienced and learned and I would grow and I would be grateful
Yep.
for the experience.
That's the struggle we have to, right? That we have to experience to get there. Whatever
Absolutely.
the struggle is.
Yep. And I wanted to bring this also up because I read a few books. I love books and I love audiobooks very much because I drive a lot. And so I get to listen to it. And because I'm a musician, I don't want to listen to music when I'm not singing because it's too much. It's overload. So one of the books I listened to this year that blew my mind was Perry from Friends.
Matthew
Perry. Yes, thank you, Leo. Holy moly. Was this guy like a hardcore? Like he could not. It was just like, oh my God, if this isn't the example of an addict addicted to everything. And so we talked about this. He had tons of money, tons of fame. He was loved. He had a ton of girlfriends, and he could not shake this monkey on his back. He
was a
couldn't
really
do it.
sweet guy. I actually
Oh
got
my
to
God.
meet him.
Yeah.
Usually,
Yeah,
everybody,
in Hollywood one time, and he was a really sweet. Just an instance, a passing hello, how are
Yeah.
you? In a group and at a karaoke place off Sunset by Gower Studios. I was a PA at the time. We were there for karaoke, and he was in the back, and we were all hanging out. There may have been some herbalage going around, and he was very nice. Oh no, thank you. And what's your name? And sweet guy.
Yeah, very sweet guy. And also I read a book that shook me to the core was Hunter Biden's book, Beautiful Boy. Oh my God. So, like this guy.
Have you seen the Charlie Sheen doc?
Yes,
Oh, no,
I
not
have.
yet. I heard it's pretty.
That ironically was produced by Rob and Nick, his son. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Jesus.
but it's really wild because I'll say that, those of us that are in recovery, we see it all the time. Addiction kills. We know that. They always say, like, if you hit, people have to hit their bottom. Just hopefully it's not 6 feet under.
Right.
And it's a hard reality. And I think sometimes if you're on the family side, it's hard to see that. But one of the things I'm most grateful to learn, because I really qualified for Al-Anon as a baby, right? I should have been not an Alateen, but like Alatot. But I
Mm,
think one of the things that you start to realize is that really it's a family disease. We all, it's not just the person who's using, we all have to figure out how to, I think it's about communicating and loving each other. It
yep.
sounds ridiculous, but
No,
that,
and acceptance and also accepting, like you said, that you can love someone, know that they are struggling, and separate yourself. Like that
do you
detach with love thing that I learned 30 years ago has helped me every day of my life.
Maria, I will tell you a quick story. There was a woman, because my mother had just died, and it was about 20 years ago. I was in LA starting my like film stuff here, and I would go to this Al-Anon meeting on Saturday mornings. And this very beautiful actress model, and I would always listen to her, and she would talk about how her husband, who'd been a very famous musician,
Mm,
um, and he'd been sober and she was and they were doing this thing together. And then he slipped and his thing was heroin and he ended up on Skid Row.
wow.
And so, she would talk about how giving the addict the dignity of their choice.
Wow.
So she allowed him to do whatever, and she had to divorce him and all of that. But she told the story about how every day while he was still alive, she would drive down to Skid Row, roll her window down, and hand him a sack lunch.
Wow.
He was loving him. And then she would have to drive away.
Oh
And in
my
the beginning,
God.
it was in tears, but by the end, it was like, oh, but when I heard that, I was like, wow, sometimes that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to learn to love somebody where they're at
Well,
and, take care of yourself at the same time. It's a very complicated, it's not easy.
no, it's not. Um, so Lori Towers, thank you for sharing this, Lori. My father passed at 45 years old from alcohol addiction. So I know the path well, sadly.
Mm.
Well, Lori, I'm sorry that you know that because that's not anything that goes away, that stays deep inside. And I'm sorry, honey.
But
And
look at how great you are now from learning and seeing
I
those.
know,
You know,
and it's you know we learn lessons, and especially as kids, we learn to adjust. We learn to do what we got to do. But just, the reason I want to bring it up is because it's all over the news now, right? For different reasons. And Mel and I also talked about this, that we don't want to mention any names because, people are innocent until proven guilty. We talked about that. But, after reading that Matthew Perry and Hunter Biden book, I just want to say that anyone can have an addict in their family. The
and
most
they
famous,
do.
the king of England can, as can the poorest pauper in the world, can either be or have an addict in their family. And we must remember that human beings deserve dignity and they deserve respect. But we also need to remember, like Mel said, which I love, Mel, that you need to create boundaries. That's what I heard. We need to create boundaries and protect ourselves. And also to not be fooled, by shiny little objects.
Right.
Um, I one of the things that I always, and it's a song, I'll write this song someday. I'll write it because this is my song to write someday. But I used to sometimes be walking down village streets and, no matter how many years I had sober, and I would almost hear the ghost of my addiction say, "Don't you miss me?
Mm.
You know you miss me.
Mm.
You'd be so much happier if you came back." And I get chills when I think of it because my grandmother, who was so wise, she died at 101. But I remember I was celebrating like 10 years sober or something. So it was a long time ago. And this is how long ago it was. There was phone booths still out, no cell phones. And on the way to the meeting, I called her and I said, I got to tell you, I'm very proud of myself today because I'm celebrating 10 years sober. And you know what she said to me? And I never forgot it. She said, wow, addiction sounds, I might even cry when I say this, but addiction sounds like a lover that beats you up and calls you names and drags you to the streets and you just keep going back.
because you think it's love.
And Maria, that's amazing, and that's why
My Italian grandmother said that.
right, and that's why for the people that love the addict alcoholic,
Mm,
same thing, because you think, oh, if I just say the right thing, or if I do it this way, or maybe I won't do anything at all. There's a thing they talk about: I'm neither going to prevent nor create a disaster. I'm just going to let it be.
right.
So to let go and let the person have their life and still love them, but not get, like you said, sucked in by the shiny objects.
Yep.
It's
and
hard.
I want to throw this out there. You just reminded me of the 3 C's and Al-Anon, because I also go to Al-Anon meetings. And by the way, everything, if you need a meeting and you can't go in person, or you want to go in person and get a list of your meetings, you go to aa.org or alanon.org or NA, which is Narcotics Anonymous.org. And you can get in-person meetings if you put your zip code in, or Zoom meetings. 24 hours there are Zoom meetings that you can Zoom into. I've met people from all over the world at these great Zoom meetings. But in Al-Anon, one of the things they say is the 3 C's when you deal with an addict, alcoholic, or whatever. Remember the 3 C's. I didn't cause it, I can't cure it, and I can't control it.
That's
And
right.
that has always helped me. Always helped me. Now, we always have a food section of our show, and we're doing it again tonight. So I'm in Jersey at my girlfriend's house, and I love Jersey. I love it. It's just so civilized, and I can drive around and park and get what I need to get. But so I figured we need some Jersey Mike's, and this is Judy's favorite sandwich, a Jersey Mike's Philly cheesesteak.
Ooh.
So there it
Oh.
is. Now, mind you, I'm going back on my diet in January, but not till January 3rd. Not till January 3rd. And then for a salad, look at her new bowls. Aren't they cute?
Ooh.
Yeah, Judy's very fancy.
Wow.
So I
Wow.
have, here is baby romaine lettuce with some red onions, some carrots, some Persian cucumbers from Trader Joe's, and pepper jack cheese shredded. I'm going to put on extra virgin olive oil, and Fini is this wonderful balsamic vinegar from Italy that I love that you can get at Whole Foods. So that's what I'm putting on there. And I'm having a delicious chocolate macadamia cookie.
Mm.
So that's what I'm having tonight for my food.
Joe, I want to be
now-
back in the studio with you.
Oh my God. Listen, when you come back to New York in a few weeks or whatever, you come over and I'll make us a delicious dinner. Because then after January 3rd, I'm going on a diet. But I can still cook for you. But I'm going back on my keto probably.
I gotta tell you, Friday is our holiday cooking class with the kids, and I already lined up my staff, so I'm kind of prepared that way. But the kids are going to be making pasta, 2 eggs, 2 cups of flour. They're going to roll it out.
You mean fresh pasta?
We're going to make fresh pasta, and they're going to have little scissors to either cut it, or I'm going to give them cookie cutters, and they can cut their pasta into little Christmas.
Oh, cute.
Oh my God, how cute.
The other simple thing, because I had some bigger plans, but since I'm a little limited, we're going to get some masa, and we're just going to make corn tortillas, and I'm going to put some refried beans and some they can have tacos, and then we're doing cake cookies in the afternoon. So
wow,
we got a full weekend, and then camps come for Christmas and New Year's. So.
Leo runs an after-school center and does incredible work, and right now he's been in a lot of pain, so he's been out running the ship from home.
Sister Gimpy continues.
I love it. So let me see what everybody's. Yeah, Rena says, my cousin Rena says, go ahead, keep eating. That's right, Rena. We got to do the food section of our show, and that's what it is. Go ahead, keep eating. I will remind everybody, if you want an apron, we have them. They're $25. If you want a calendar, we have them. They're $15. And I might have a few mugs left. Those are $10. If you need anything for Christmas or anything, let me know. And also, there's Vinny Palumbo. Hi, Vincent Palumbo. Hi, honey. Vincent is a great acting teacher. He's also an agent and a very funny person, and an Italian as I am. So that's pretty Italian. But I just want to tell everybody before we wrap up, and I'll have all the guys jump in there too. Tonight's show was not intended to rattle or offend anyone. It was intended to say you are not alone, whatever side of this issue you may be on or have been on, that we wanted to uh, give a tribute to to the to the Rob, yep, to the Reiners, to Rob and Michelle Reiner, and I'm sure there'll be many tributes. But how they affected our lives since we were kids, right? Whether and was Carl Reiner all the way in the lineage of all that, right? Leo, that was a great point you brought up. Mel, you work in film, and you're in LA a lot and New York, and so you and I have the same sober date, which I feel like we're always going to be connected forever. And this just very important that you always remember, whoever you are out there, that you are not alone ever. That there are always people that will listen to you and love you and understand where you're coming from. And let's not judge each other. And that's why I didn't want to bring politics into this. I will say one thing. I do want to give a shout out. Peter Kelly is a representative from Long Island. He is a Republican. And I don't normally agree with him on much, but you respect. He does what he does. He put up a great post today, and it really moved me. And he said, I didn't always agree with Rob Reiner on his politics, but I am as devastated as anyone else about the tragedy behind this. And we need to come together. And he was appalled actually at some of the other things he saw online. Don't name names, but I thought that took a lot of courage coming from a Republican. And I wanted to shout out Peter Kelly from Long Island. And I wrote on his Facebook wall and thanked him for that. And I feel like, just like Mel was saying, if we could see each other again from that point of view, as being all under the same sun, and that we are all struggling and feel alone. So we cluster sometimes with groups. We don't even know why. But let's stop hating each other. We don't need to follow leaders that don't lead us to a positive place. Remember the lessons of people like the Reiners. Remember the lessons of wonderful people in your lives, and keep doing great things in the world. Now, Leo, I want you to give us a nice little closing message, and then Mel will close the show out.
Well, I was gonna later on. I want to play us out to the end of "You Gotta Believe," but that's kind of my theme. Like, even if you are feeling alone, you've got to take that instant. Maybe there's somebody I can talk to. Yes, there is. There's hotlines. There's us. Knowing us three here, if you see the show and you're affected and you need to talk, reach out to us. We'll give you the right directions. But you got to believe that you're here for a reason, or you wouldn't exist.
Right.
You're here. So
Absolutely.
when you feel it, reach out to us, because we can help each other. We're stronger together.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Mel, honey, what do you want to leave us with?
As you know, Maria, we talked about it. I was helping my dear friend Sally Kirkland, the actress who passed away a little over a month ago, and then we were helping pack up her things, and it was such a beautiful experience. And it's sad but it's also when we pass. So I was hoping. I'm so interested in hearing from your friend who's the medium and the healer. There's something really magical when you're around that. I'll just say that all, to me, I'm learning. It's very simple. I almost died of AIDS, blah, blah, blah. All that counts is love. I think that this is the season. It's the third night of Hanukkah. I'm not Jewish, but I'll just say light in the darkness against all darkness for everybody, not just your little tribe, not just your little zip code, for everybody.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And if you are Jewish and you celebrate, happy Hanukkah. It's the third night, I think. And to all our Catholic friends, I know Christmas is around the corner. If you don't celebrate anything, Festivus for the rest of us, of course. From Seinfeld, I always thought that was the funniest thing. And Danielle Alexandria Alchemy, by the way, if anybody wants to go to her website, she does amazing things. Love to everyone. Hope everyone has a bright and blessed holiday, kind to ourselves and others. And thank you, Maria Leo, for a safe and bright spot for us every Tuesday. And I want to thank Mel. I want to thank everybody that stayed on this feed tonight and didn't jump ship and say, this is a different show than I'm used to. And we appreciate that you stayed. We wanted to do something special. We wanted to kind of bring everybody in together. It's a rough time, and I think we're going to be okay. But we have to hold on to each other a little bit. Mel, I love you. I can't wait till you come back to New York. Leo, you know how much I love you as well.
I love
And
you guys so much.
and we'll see each other soon. And go ahead, Leo, close us out.
Mm.